challenging is a good word.
Yeah. Anything working with Maria is going to be challenging because she has a lot of work to do.
Oh, yes, she does. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Well, I'm glad you're there.
Yeah, hopefully we can get her some help soon. Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna have a quorum.
Well, Joseph, if no one else shows up,
It's already 10 after.
we don't have a quorum.
Okay.
Yeah, so hopefully so. I just, you know, so if that happens, bumped back. So hopefully not.
Hopefully not.
And Joseph, I see 9 Airbnbs on here. Is that right? Is that
Yes.
okay? Because I remember you mentioned something about.
Oh, well, that picture is correct.
Okay.
Is that the latest one?
It was received 9/22.
Okay, so that's probably correct.
Okay.
They're both on the way.
Okay.
Mac and,
Okay. Good. Was there one after this, or is this just showing what's?
it's yours if you want to look.
Oh.
Is this the correct one?
Yeah, that's the latest drawing.
Okay.
Maybe I didn't write.
So that'll be the total number of.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that's gonna be.
There's Mike. Hi,
Hi there.
how are you?
I am.
This guy.
I am what I am, Papa.
You are what you
Good
are.
afternoon.
Good afternoon.
She said there's some issue with utilities, the address and all that stuff. These two pictures and something's gone on.
Is that Lydia Phillips?
No, this guy is Francis.
Are we expecting others?
Yeah, I think Mac.
Yeah.
I thought I had already corrected this.
The one that was closing and the gal said, no, this is the
I heard
address
you've
I
been
gave it.
sick under the weather.
That's the one, isn't it?
So I'm
Yes.
doing better.
Okay.
That Lydia
Oh.
Phillips that we
Yes,
fixed.
same thing.
And
Oh,
Lydia
yeah.
was
Better
supposed
like
to,
that. Oh,
I mean,
some kind of
Lydia
bug.
Phillips was supposed to tell the realtor.
Oh, I don't.
But they just not well.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
So
not
it
well.
sounds.
I just recognized the,
Yeah, so it sounds like something went
What
wrong.
is it they get?
so the post office did
Little
not
of
even
everything.
have an 18 and a half.
Nah.
Right, I remember you
That's
telling me all
hard.
that, but it
And
sounds.
utilities
Still
didn't have an
finding
18
sick.
and a
Yeah,
half
but
either.
it sounds like something's going wrong now that the
That's
house is
probably all
there.
medication
Place
that
the
they-
house.
Ooh, if
The
that's
house is
case,
there, has been
Maybe
there.
just
Okay,
talk to the
but they
pharmacist.
won't turn on the utilities.
I talked to the
something's up,
pharmacist once
so we
and
can
they
talk
said,
about it
no, these two
afterwards.
shouldn't be
See
taken
what's going
together.
on,
Mm-hmm.
but something went on.
And,
Well, that
I don't
one,
know, I
that,
think it's
that
dangerous.
Who's your
double wide has
pharmacist?
been empty for.
Well, that was
quite-
way back in Washington State, because
Oh.
when I worked in home health,
Actually, the
Yeah.
IT guy
I
that
used to call
used
them
to
once
be
in a
here,
while and
Diego,
say, what do you think of this?
was the one that lived there.
Yeah.
Because sometimes doctors
And
aren't
he,
aware.
they turned him on.
Yeah, the
and,
pharmacist
but,
can tell.
It was just one of those
I mean,
weird
if you got a
things.
Okay, we'll
conflict
try to
of
figure it out.
medications
She's-
causing somebody to be sick, I can get on it. 'Cause I know somebody I think
Or
died.
that Lydia was supposed to give that copy of the address request that I gave her
She had a list,
to
she
the
had a
realtor so they could correct all the
this
paperwork.
fill out.
And I think I
part
even
of the
changed,
next
I
page.
gave everything to Caleb. I'll look.
I said, that
Yeah.
doesn't seem right.
I told her it's
Call
we
a
might be in
doctor,
this
call the
meeting
pharmacist,
tomorrow, we
and
might
get
not
it
get
sit
back
down.
to her today. But we would
Let's
get
don't.
back to her as soon as we could.
I thought that was a shame.
But yes,
Did you end
you're
up in
right,
the
that is
hospital?
same one.
I did, about 4 times.
Yeah, here?
No,
Here in
no,
Santa Fe?
in Santa Fe.
And I'll look
Yeah.
into that when I go back
Okay.
because I thought I had already corrected
But-
everything.
My doctor
Yeah.
said just
But
go
if she
straight
gave
to
the
Santa Fe.
1809 and a half
I don't.
rear
Huh?
to utilities,
wanna go
they're
there.
not gonna find it because I've
Yeah,
already
my
had it
doctor
corrected to 13.
Well, they're gonna take you there anyway.
Yes, for the send you their job application.
Yeah.
But I already gave it that.
So we just went there.
Closing documents are
You
the
did too.
address, and I said, well, I said, you're gonna have to.
No, I came up with some
Closing
kind of
documents.
stupid
I
cancer.
said, you can't just
You've
willy-nilly
got
miss
cancer?
a sign of every
I don't know if I
address, so
still do.
I remember
I'm
that
hoping
discussion with her,
It's,
that you're
And
gonna
they-
have to change it
on
in the
the run.
closing
Oh,
document.
they said it's all in your
That
head.
never happened.
That
I wish.
never happened.
No, wait.
Because if I remember
My
Caleb,
daughters
because
had
I
that.
found, he
Yeah,
found me
brain
the
tumor,
address for
cancer.
1809.
oh, that kind, oh,
Yeah.
shoot.
But I'll look it up.
When she was dead,
That's right.
Yeah, we'll see
She
what
got
happens.
through it.
and she had
Yeah,
a,
she said they won't
she
have
had
utilities
another,
and the rest.
meningioma when she was,
Well, they're not doing.
She's had a
in
rough.
2015,
They're just being very strict.
but it wasn't cancer.
Yeah, and that's
But
understandable.
We don't
You
know
know,
what's going
yeah,
on.
stage
Her
6, you know,
skull's
Yeah,
not
that's
there.
understandable.
It's
And,
titanium
so
alloy
we-
and plastic, and she has a lot of
And
problems
they
that started
actually, we
falling
had,
apart.
I have two that I turned in
In
to.
20,
what's her name,
in
this
August.
afternoon.
I
And
remember
we
that.
told them,
Because,
and they couldn't get
the
it
old Moody's
until
building,
January.
Moody's
By that
bakery,
time, she was so
it's
full of
been vacant for a
infection
lot of
that
years.
she was on IV antibiotics. They wanted her on
So
for
they
38
couldn't find
days.
the address
I
in the
think she
system,
did like
right?
32 days, and
So.
my wife had to take her off because she was starting to get reaction.
Yeah, well,
to
no,
the wall
if they were
medication.
closed
That's
in
better.
2012 and
And
we
now
started
she's
the
got
billing
something else
system,
going on.
and they had the zero
Yeah,
balance,
it's still
the
that
accounts
skull
didn't move over,
problem, and
and we can't
and then we
access,
can't even get
if
a
we could
rec
access
from
the
you
old
and
system,
them. They
they would just
sent
get
a
that
release
account and bring it in, you know what
request
I mean?
for, we've asked over and
But
over again that they
We
send
can't
her
access that
records
anymore
to her
because
primary care
there's some
physician.
problem with
Nothing.
getting all the,
Nothing. So now she asked for them
it's just
for
gone,
her.
you know, with the old
And
programs,
they said,
they can't
they
get
sent
parts
the
on it.
paperwork in, and they
You know
said
what I mean?
that
Yeah.
my wife shouldn't have signed for her because she's
And,
not a
uh,
minor. Well, no, we
So,
know
anything like that happens if they've been closed for
that.
that
Still,
many years.
still going.
But I know
We
that
still
the
don't have
account was
records.
active
Because
before.
the brain
At one
surgeon
time,
that
well,
took
of
care of
course,
second meningioma
that-
said he couldn't get it all out.
That was my
They
release
wanted
from
to see a
my
neurologist, we finally got her in to
Fresh
see a
bread was
neurologist.
awesome.
The neurologist says, "There's- you don't have a tumor there."
They are actually looking
So
at
who
doing
the
some
hell-
kind of a venue,
What's going on? you know?
like,
Yeah, you know, conflict.
like little
conflicting
parties, little,
stories.
Yeah, that's
It's
terrible.
ridiculous.
different little things, you
It
know
is
what I mean?
ridiculous. You have to live with that.
And,
It's really ridiculous.
maybe like,
It's Mac.
Hello, man.
because it's really,
All right. How are you, man?
it's a big space. Everything is gone, and they're gonna live in the apartment on the
How are you, sir?
Good, how are you?
They used to have they're remodeling that, but they had.
First of all, I owe you an apology for being late. Nobody's fault but my own. I was deleting emails and deleted this email. And so I apologize, and thank you for calling me.
He said he
Maria.
had like 400.
No, I had 4,000.
Well, I guess I can be thankful I only had 20 from yesterday.
So we hadn't opened officially, right?
No,
No, we were
Let's say
waiting.
the pledge first. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Anybody who's going to testify in this matter, and I presume that's you,
Yes, sir.
if you don't mind standing and raising your right hand. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. All right.
The roll call?
Roll call, please.
Joe Coca,
Here.
Matt Crow,
Here.
Diane Lindsay. Here. Manny Varela,
Here.
Mike Sweeney.
Here.
Okay, we have quorum, and Mr. Romero called that he was sick and he wasn't gonna be able to make it.
Okay. Okay. So, on the planning and zoning, number 7.1, recommendation for approval or disapproval of an application for annexation of a 1.805 acre tract off of North Grand Avenue as submitted by Joseph Rivera, who's the owner, and a zone change from RA, residential agricultural, to a C3 general commercial zone for the same property. I'm sure all of y'all have read the packet, which I have not. But the fact that y'all have is lovely, because I'm not going to vote unless there's a tie. I may have questions, but that's all I'll do. Okay?
All right.
So, Mr. Rivera, why don't you tell us exactly what this is about? Oh, you Mr. Rivera?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir. Then why don't you tell us exactly what this is about and save me some time of reading this?
Okay.
And you can sit down closer to the microphone, that'd be great, thank you.
I initially wanted to do a car wash. I abandoned the idea. I came in maybe 4 or 5 months ago, if I recollect.
I remember that.
Yeah, and I spoke to Ben Minus, and I got he and I went over a plan that I had in motion, and I wanted to do what I'm doing now, which is the Airbnb and storefront in the front. And so I went through the process, and I got all the necessary, well, maybe not approvals, but the
Paperwork done?
the paperwork done, so that I can put my buildings. So I got all the approvals. I had architects involved. I had engineers, contractors. So I did all the necessary things that I needed to do to get it done. That way, everything was perfect.
Okay.
And I want to continue to continue doing what I'm doing.
Okay. And this is on North Grand Avenue, and exactly about where is it this way?
Yes, it's this way. It's directly across the Love's gas station.
From Pino's gas station?
No, the Love's gas station.
Oh, from Love's gas station?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. All right. You obtained permits to install portables that are on the property now,
Yes, sir.
and project plans changed, and you're just as simple, you're just trying to change this to the correct
Yes,
zoning.
absolutely.
Yeah. Maria, do you have anything you'd like to add on this?
The only thing is, he wants to annex the piece of property that's there,
Uh-huh.
and we had approved it as a car wash back in
I
2021.
remember that.
You know, but since his plans changed, we had to bring it back, because it had not gone to council
Okay.
back in 2021. So,
In 2021, we approved it for a car wash, but that automatically changed the zoning then, didn't it? From
not
R-
necessarily.
Sadly, it went to the Planning and Zoning Commission, but it never went to council. I'm not really sure why, but it never went to city council for final approval.
Okay,
So Planning and Zoning gives their recommendation to the council, and
Sure.
the council makes the
Yeah.
decision. So that's kind of what went down, and so we advised Mr. Chavez that, sorry,
Mr. Rivera?
sorry, Mr. Rivera. We advised Mr. Rivera that we needed to bring it back to Planning and Zoning with the uses that he wants to have there, and let's just take it back through and get it done correctly.
Okay, let me ask a real quick question that's kind of silly. So, it's not going to be a car wash, and you said a Airbnb?
Yeah, so
Explain that to me.
it's gonna be kind of like a motel situation
Uh-huh.
with individual little casitas,
Uh-huh.
and that's for people to like rent for the night,
Uh-huh.
rent for the weekend, and so forth. And so it's gonna be kind of like just like an overnight rental is what it is,
Okay.
basically.
And just how, these casitas have how many square feet?
They're probably right around 900.
900, I figured,
Mhm.
just guessing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so you have already made application to hook up with sewer?
So that's in the process. That's something that I've been working with the utilities, and so that's something that's still in the makings. I still haven't got any squared away yet, but it's something that I'm working on.
Yeah, without that, it's a dead deal. But we can still change the zoning from residential to light commercial, whether he gets the permit for sewer and so forth.
Well, I've obtained from the neighbor that I can tap into his,
Uh-huh.
and I have a letter that's notarized saying that I can tap into his into the sewer.
Existing program?
And I talked to Maria Gilberry, I believe her last name is, and she said, you know what, this is actually, it's a private line, so you know, it doesn't matter, as soon as you tap in, let me know, and we'll give you the water tap, rather.
I was getting ready, that was my next question.
So as soon as I run the piping, and I'm done with everything, I have, with her, she said, you know what, just let me know, and just come, and I paid for the sewer tap already. But being that I wasn't able to tap into the existing sewer line that was there, they voided it. So she goes, this other way, you don't even have to do the sewer tap, because it's going to be a private property, a private line. So that's where that's at.
And the city water department approved your water permit and all that?
She gave me the sewer tap. I have the letter, and she said, you know, as soon as you get your sewer and everything intact, come in and we'll give you the water tap. But then she told me that because of the water situation, that it was probably out maybe a month.
Well, see, that's what I was leading to, is the water situation.
Yeah.
And so she told you, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No.
So she said that it'd be some time before you get the water?
It was probably, she told me about a month or so, and it's already been maybe 2 months. So.
And it may be longer than that, huh?
Well, it depends on what stage we're at with the water supply.
Yeah, you know, but it's probably contingent upon the stage, you know.
Sure.
So.
That's what I figured.
But everything else was in the makings.
Anybody else have any questions?
And Matt?
Can I,
Yes,
can I ask something?
well, of course you can.
Mr. Rivera, is
Yes,
this gonna
sir.
be like a motel situation, or you're gonna have cooking facilities and stuff?
You know, it's gonna be relatively simple. I'm gonna just keep it kind of simple, nice, clean.
It'll be very similar to like the cabins KOA rents out. Is that about right?
Which are the ones at KOA? I'm not sure.
KOA has these little cabins that they rent out, you know?
know,
And I presume they're around 900 square feet or so.
Yeah,
And it would be, you know,
probably something similar to
a
that.
bed, will you have a kitchenette in them?
You know what, maybe some might,
A
some might not.
microwave or something like that?
So it's like bread and breakfast?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'd be like a bed and breakfast, basically.
Yeah, so as I'm gonna, everything's gonna be landscaped, and everything's gonna be, I mean, nice, clean, and, you know, it's not gonna be injurious to anything
Yeah.
around, it's all.
Do you have enough room? You're gonna put up 3 of them, you said?
I'm sorry?
You're gonna put up 3?
No, there's gonna be more of them. There's
How many?
Probably about 9.
9? Do you have parking for 9?
Absolutely, there's ample parking for everything. I have some in the front, which is probably close to 600 feet of property, and then I have some in the back, so there's way more than, I mean, there's a lot of room for parking.
And so not only are you gonna put up the bed and breakfast units, then you have potential
Yes,
for retail space and things of that nature.
yes. So, yeah, so the 2 front buildings in the front are gonna be retail.
Uh-huh.
I have, I mean, it's gonna be retail. I have all the glass that I've already
Yeah.
purchased for the front. It's gonna be, I mean, it's not gonna look like that. It's gonna look amazing. I have architects and engineers involved in this project, so,
Well, that's excellent. That sounds professional to me.
yeah, this is.
And your
Mickey Mouse
location
theme.
is excellent, right across from Love's Truck Stop.
Thank
All
you.
them touristas see that and say,
Yeah,
man,
so you know
I
what? I
don't want
wanna
to drive
capture the
an
audience.
extra 2 hours.
But I didn't.
Mr. Rivera?
Yes, sir.
When you use the word or the term private line, would you please clarify, does that
Absolutely.
line lead to a septic tank, or is
No,
it city
no.
sewer?
It's a city source, so the
So what do you
neighbor,
mean by a private line?
so it's a private line, it's not part of the city. It's not part of the city, but the neighbor next door gave me authorization to be able to tap into that existing
So
line.
you're going
because-
into his property?
Yes, And
With his permission.
with his permission, I have a notarized letter from the neighbor saying that I can tap into his sewer pipe.
And the wastewater department in the city of Las Vegas approves that sort of thing?
Well, Maria Gilberry approved it. I told her, so we were going back and forth, and I presented to her what I was gonna do, and she said, that's totally fine, is what she told me. I just have so many things going on right now that everything's in stages. I'm working with P&M also, so that's another thing that I'm working
I
with.
didn't know that sort of thing was legal. I mean, what's to prevent me from hooking up to my neighbor's line and not pay sewer to the city? I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me.
This gentleman has a statement he'd like to make.
Sorry to interrupt, City Manager Bill Maestas. So there is a private line that's on the Gearhart property that comes from Comfort Inn and it ends at the Best Western. It's a large pipe that goes through there. We have no control over who connects to that pipe. Once it becomes ours, once that sewer gets into our pipes, then it becomes our ownership at that point. But we have no control over the connections that are done on those private properties. It's a Gearhart line that was put in when the Comfort Inn was built.
But it is legal to tap into that.
We have no control over that.
And then what happens as far as the city goes?
We have no control. over
We
the
have no
gas.
way of taxing them for that water, that sewer that goes through there.
Yes, sir.
Because right now, the sewer water is actually more expensive to us than fresh water. I pay more for my sewer line than going out than for my fresh water coming in.
Yes, sir.
So
It
we're
is-
not covering
It
that.
is a valid concern, we just have no control over it
But-
because it's a private line.
Well, that's,
As this gentleman said, that's exactly what Maria Gilberry, told me as well.
Uh-huh. But are you pursuing another course of action on that, or is the city making you, or what?
Well, it's, I was trying to tap into the Gearhart line, and so I'm not sure if it's gonna become city, available to the city and part of the city. I'm not sure what's gonna happen there, and I was kind
Because
of waiting.
if you have all 9 rentals
Uh-huh.
rented at one time, that's a lot of water going into the city sewer.
Well, they're not gonna be 24 hours, they're gonna,
It doesn't take 24 hours,
well,
just a shave and whatever, right quick. A shave and a shower.
yeah.
But that's still a lot of water, because I had a bed and breakfast, and I assure you, people use lots of water.
And you're probably 100% right.
Yeah.
I spoke to Robert when he was working at Robert Espinosa, when he was working at the solid waste, and I think it was a solid waste, and he told me, you know what, it would actually benefit the people here to have more of a flow. That way, it just,
That can be treated.
yeah,
Sure.
it's better to have more of a flow than like a stagnant flow, and so it would be beneficial to the existing line, based on what he, told me.
Okay. Okay. And let me ask, so you have a private agreement with Mr. Gearhart?
No, not with the Gearhart, with the neighbor on the side, and I have a notarized letter.
A notarized letter agreeing to you tapping
Yes.
into their line?
This bank,
And are you gonna pay them any money for
he
this?
I did.
You did? Okay. Well, that's none of my business, but I was just curious. Huh?
that gives me some ideas. I'll tap my neighbor's sewer line and,
But you have to get his permission.
well, of course.
Yeah.
But if it'll save me a
Well, hell, yeah, I think I'll do the same thing. Mike, you have anything you wanna say?
Not at this time.
Okay. You have anything you wanna say?
No, I think we've covered.
Okay. I like to see commercial development in this town as a
Awesome.
businessman. And,
So I own Community Auto, the car dealership, across the Pinos, and now I have this one, and I want to keep going. So let's see, I want to make Las Vegas great again. It's,
I agree with that wholeheartedly. Unfortunately, you picked a hell of a time to do it with construction costs.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, that's pretty substantial.
It is
And goes up
absolutely.
every day.
Mhm.
That's neither here nor there either. It's just an observation from
It's
an old
probably
man.
close to even 3 times as what it was probably 3 years ago.
Yeah, I know. It's terrible.
Mhm.
Chairman,
Yes, ma'am?
I would like to add just a couple of conditions to the approval.
Would you mind speaking up a little for
Yeah,
an
I
old
wanted to
man?
add just a few conditions to the approval.
Uh-huh.
I wanted to make sure that we get a parking plan from
Yes.
Mr. Rivera. We talked about trying to nail down the parking spaces for all these uses, so I'd like
Yes.
to get a parking plan.
Yes.
And then we'd like to get a copy of the notarized letter from the neighbor about
Of course.
the sewer line. And then also some kind of landscaping plan for how Mr. Rivera plans to landscape. That
I
would be
think
great
that's real
too.
important, because as Mr. Rivera says, he wants to bring in quality
Yeah.
business to Las Vegas. And I agree with you, landscaping. Of course, landscaping, unless you do that zero-scaping.
Yeah,
And that I
You
actually,
can go out there and pull up a cholla and pretend it's beautiful or something. But,
well, you know, as a stonemason, I'm a professional stonemason, probably one of the best in the
oh, are you?
Mhm. So I worked with many landscape architects in Santa Fe, so I've adapted my skills to, you know, to,
So you know about that sort of thing?
absolutely, so.
Yeah. Well, that's excellent. That's good news.
I changed my mind, I'd like to have one question answered.
Yes, sir.
What's to prevent your neighbor from at some point in time saying, I no longer want you in my sewer line?
That's a good question. I was very thorough with the way that I wrote down
Is
the
there
way
a
that I wrote down
contract or
everything.
something?
Yes.
Yes, I
Is there a
have a
contract?
contract,
Yes.
and in there's a stipulation that says something to the effect that it's a forever use.
Oh, forever?
Yeah, and he signed it, and it's notarized, and I have a copy in my office.
And like Max says, it's none of our business, but are you ongoing, is there an ongoing payment for this?
No,
One-time payment? or- Thank you.
yes, sir.
That used to be the.
And Mr. Rivera,
Yes, sir.
this is
That's-
within the
that's
city
that
limits?
property.
Yes.
And that's the
well,
old address.
it's
that
not in the
really-
city limits, or the neighbor is. Is that?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, and the reason I ask is because the fire department, is he gonna be covered?
If he's annexed into the city,
It
yes.
should be a 24.
If it's annexed
About
into the
that.
city.
Correct.
Okay.
That's what we're
Listen to me.
There was an incident a while back
You
where
order-
Mr. Gonzalez's house was on the north side of the street, and the fire department only covered on the south side. He had to sit there and watch his house burn down.
That's a bad thing, isn't it?
And it's true, I'm not making it up. It's unbelievable, but it's
Well,
true.
Being that Love's is there and as close as you are to Love's, if they've got this, the fire department covers them, wouldn't it cover you also?
Absolutely, that's why, like she said, we're here today to get annexation and to become part of the city as opposed to being part of the county. The individual that owned that property before I did had it as agricultural use because I think he had like livestock
Yeah.
at one time. And so it behooved him to have it set up that way. And now, now that I want to develop it, I want to have it, I want to bring it back into the city. And he had ample opportunity to do so. You know, when he, I think he was asked to do it at one time, and he denied because for some reason the taxes or I don't know what, don't quote me at that, was better for him to keep it agricultural the way that it was.
Oh, yeah. You don't even pay not even a third if it's agricultural.
Yeah, so that's probably why he kept it that way.
And as you said, the city's going to require a parking plan, copy of the agreement regarding the sewer,
Landscape,
help me, huh?
landscaping,
Landscaping,
yeah.
a landscaping plan. And all those, even if we approve this, then those still have to be presented to the city for approval before he can go on with his rat kill. Okay.
I've actually done stuff like this in Albuquerque, an old town historical thing when I had other businesses, and so I'm well aware of all the landscaping and all the stipulations that you have to do to be in compliant.
Okay, another question, and on your plan here, it shows the Airbnb units, it shows the storefront rental and a future restaurant.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I want to ask you, I want to just make a generalized statement. I am so sick and tired of seeing these roach coaches all over this damn city.
Nothing like that.
They don't pay tax, they don't pay ad valorem taxes. They're benefiting themselves and whoever they're renting from. And I just want to emphasize, if you're gonna put a restaurant, I would like to see a full-fledged restaurant,
Absolutely.
not one of these fly-by-night, pull in a roach coach. is what
Roach
I'd
coach.
say. Yeah. So, that's just an observation also.
I'm gonna make this thing look awesome. I mean, it's not gonna be nothing, you know,
Okay.
half done. I mean, I'm gonna go all out on this place and make it look absolutely gorgeous. So that's the plan.
Well, I'm gonna take you at your word, and I hope the city also enforces and make sure he stays within what he says. Okay, that's all the questions I really have.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, yes, ma'am.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve this
Application.
application with the recommendations by staff, 3 recommendations by staff, for a change in zone from an RA to a C3.
Actually, there's 2, it's a 2-part,
Right.
first the annexation and then the zone change.
Okay, so we'll approve the annexation with the zone, with the recommendations, right? Is that with the recommendations, okay?
We'll probably put the recommendations with the zone change.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I start over. I make a motion that we approve the application for an annexation of the 1.805 acre off in North Grand, submitted by Joseph Rivera. How's that?
Awesome.
Is that,
Is
okay,
that clear? Okay.
yes, ma'am. Okay, you can sit down, Mr. Rivera. We'll put you through the ringer already. Before we vote on this,
You need a second.
yes, ma'am?
You need a
Oh,
second.
Yes, we do need a second.
I'll second that.
Mike seconds that. And before we vote, any further questions that you may have come to mind or anything?
I don't have any questions.
Okay. Anybody? There's a motion and a second. All those, we have to have a, yes, thank you.
Mike Sweeney,
Yes.
Diane Lindsay,
Yes?
Joe Coca,
Yes.
Manny Barela.
Yes,
Okay, that's excellent.
Thank you.
I'm excited to see what you do.
We
Thank
need
you
the
very
next.
much.
Yes,
We
ma'am?
need the second part for the zone change.
Pardon?
We need the second part,
Okay.
second motion for a zone change.
So we need another motion. Okay,
Okay, Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion, are you ready for that?
yes, ma'am?
For a zone change from an RA to a C3 for that same property, with the recommendations by staff included.
Okay, so we're changing it from a RA to a C3. That's the motion, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second that.
Okay, seconded?
Barela?
Yeah.
Who seconded?
Manny Varela. If we can have a roll call vote, please.
Manny Barela,
Yes.
Joe Coca,
Yes.
Mike Sweeney,
Yes.
Diane Lindsay.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right. Okay, thank you, Mr. Rivera.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you for your
Appreciate
consideration. Am I done here?
You are.
Yes, sir.
So,
Okay. So will I come back next week or the?
Next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday. Okay. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you. Okay. With regards to other business, there's no other items. So, do y'all have anything you want to bring up or anything? Nothing?
Yes, I do.
Yes, ma'am.
We have another meeting on the 24th of October, same time, same place.
24th of November,
October,
24th of...
2 weeks from yesterday.
All right.
It's a regular scheduled meeting?
No, that would have been on the 31st,
That would have been on.
but I did it on the 24th so I could have enough time to take stuff to council.
To the packet.
November.
And you'll get packets to us.
I will, I'm working on those already.
Okay.
There will not be a meeting on the 31st then?
No, sir,
Okay.
that's Halloween.
I know it's Halloween. Tricks or treats.
So are these for the Cinder Road project or the Union Street project?
Both.
Or neither, or both? Okay.
Yeah, we're taking back
Well,
the
we've
site.
already got the.
You've got, the only thing I'm gonna send, the ones that, for the one that I sent on the 20, rewind, Maria. On the 26th of September, the one that because we didn't have a quorum. The only thing I'm sending you on the Cinder Road project is the additional information, because you've already have that.
Yes.
And then, on the Chavez Street project, I'll be sending the whole packet, because that one was for August 22nd, and then we never held it.
Has anything else been added to the project on Chavez Street?
No, we just needed some clarification on some of the stuff,
Okay.
and I think we've got everything.
Okay.
Well, that being the case, I'd like to make a motion that we adjourn.
Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second
I
that.
second that.
Okay, vote with your feet.
Aye.
Good to see everybody.
Right.
Hadn't seen y'all in a long time.
Thank you for making it today.
Yeah, thanks.
I'm worried about Mike Sweeney. I tell you what, he's too quiet